not a big IPA guy?
It depends, and I don't know what it depends on, to be honest. But
That's
like
fair.
sometimes I have an IPA and I'm like, that's delicious. Sometimes I have one and I'm like, that's the worst thing I've ever tried, and I don't know the difference.
There's differences. Oh, I could go on forever. Like I have like a beer account, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I like rate. I mean, rate beers, go over breweries. It's like pretty much like my biggest hobby besides sports. But well, I guess sports is also my job. So
yeah.
But we'll have to like go over
the
different
IPAs.
beers,
We'll do like a taste test. Get some flights. I'll look up there's one I know that I really like. I can't remember the name of it. It's from a brewery from Des Moines. I'll figure out what that one is, and we'll figure out what kind of IPA
Because
it
there's
is.
like hazy IPAs, which is a New England style, and then there's West Coast, which is more bitter.
Okay.
And then there's double IPAs.
I know I'm not a fan of the bitter. I'm not a bitter person.
So most people nowadays are like hazy New England style IPAs because they're just easier to drink. But I mean, I can go on forever about beer.
We'll have to do that sometime.
Yeah, we do a full-on beer podcast.
A beer show. Yeah, that'd be some good off-season content.
Here are all the different. And we can still tie it into Iowa. All the different. We'll have to go like trip,
through all the Iowa beers. That'd be a good one.
Get some Iowa beers.
All right. Well, we are still on season though.
Yeah.
It's hate week.
It is.
Fuck Iowa State. Before we get into Iowa State though, we've got I don't know, a train wreck to go over. Yeah. Not a train wreck. One half of a train wreck.
I did not like what I saw.
Was not confident.
That was not the best. I mean, like, they won 34-7 against Albany.
The second half, obviously a lot better, but
there was no
just
point
jaded by the first half.
There's no point in the game without they were going to lose by any means.
Exactly.
But it looked very bad.
Yes. There's not a single point in the game where I thought that we were going to lose, and there's also not a single point in the game where I thought we were going to be any good this season.
Yeah. I mean, we can start off straight ahead with just Gronowski.
Just break down the Albany. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll break down the Albany game, and then we'll get into a little hate week.
Yes. Gronowski, 8 for 15, 44 yards, 1 touchdown.
Rushing touchdown, by the way.
Yes, rushing touchdown. Quick shout out. I pulled all this data from, it's called Iowa Hawkeye data on Substack. I'll put a link in the link dump to it. It's a really good breakdown. He's got a couple of other things in there that obviously we don't need to go into. But another fact about Gronowski here, 8 for 15, 44 yards. I want to say it was only 12 of his passes were under 10 yards in the air.
I mean, I practically didn't see anything. He threw more than
nothing.
A few
He threw
yards.
that one downfield.
All just drop downs practically.
Threw that one downfield, missed Gill on the sideline, overshot him. He was wide open. I think that would have been a touchdown. Missed Phillips in the end zone.
I mean, that was like the big one. Like, Phillips wide open in the end zone. I know you get a guy kind of in your face, but like I was like impressed in how he missed him.
Yeah, the linebacker.
It would have been one thing if he like threw it over his head and he just couldn't reach it because Phillips is a shorter guy. I'm 5'7", so I can say that. But like he like threw it like 10, like almost like 5 yards in front of him.
He did.
How do you miss that? I feel like I could have just shoved it like far enough. Like
my seats are right there in that north end zone, and I will say from where we were sitting, it did look like that linebacker was in prime position to pick that off. Did he throw it over the middle? However, watching it back on tape, I think he could have got it. I think
all he had to do was
just
really
lob it up and over. Like he was
that's
wide open.
what he tried to do, but he still like missed him by like 5-7 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was bad. It just honestly, it overall just looked like, which he's kind of come out and said, which he just was nervous.
Yes.
But like, how? I guess like I understand it's your
first big game.
Your big game.
He played better last time he was in Kinnick.
But like, it's true. But like he's playing he is playing an FCS team. Like I know it's your first,
like a middle of the road FCS.
Yeah,
team.
they were 4-8 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And like I understand you're home for the first time. You have all these expectations, like you come over from national, title winning squad.
He is coming off an injury. His first reps were fall camp.
And I do think that we'll get into like his obviously left the game with cramping in the third quarter, which I think's a little like I'll give him a little bit because as you brought up like his injury.
Yes.
But I still am like just overall like he just. The nerves were showing. He couldn't complete a pass. Like, what happened? Like, I don't understand Iowa and just you get a QB that's literally shown on tape they can throw the ball. Like, even like, McNamara, like he won a Big Ten championship. He can throw the ball, and yet he comes to Iowa and he looked bad.
A couple of other stats on him. Yards per attempt, 2.9. Not great. You average that, you get a fourth down every possession, every 4-down series. On target percent 71.4. Honestly feels high, but I guess a lot of them were checkdowns at the end of the day.
Yeah.
QB rating 81.3. I got to be honest, I don't understand the QB rating metric. I don't
understand too. Like maybe I think he's only around 80 because of his rushing.
That's
he got
true.
The rushing touchdown.
And that is the one plus. Getting into rushing a little bit, that is the one plus that we've had with Gronowski is you could tell like the dude can run. A stat that I've highlighted in here that I thought was kind of crazy. Yards after contact, he actually led the team at 4.2. And I just can't think of an Iowa quarterback in the last 10 years where he would get hit and keep going where the coaches wouldn't immediately shut that shit down.
Yeah.
Like, and they let him keep doing it, which was promising.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you still got your Iowa offense by, checking it down, throwing 44 yards all game. I mean, again, he left in the beginning of the third, but still, even 44 yards in the first half is very bad against the FCS team. But at least there was that, we're going to let him run, which is you don't see from Iowa offense.
And then he did go down in that game, so maybe they dial that back next game. We'll see.
Sucks
but
they need his legs.
Yes, because run game 53 carries, 310 yards, 5.8 per carry average through the whole team. Obviously just dominated on the ground.
Yeah, it's an FCS team, but that is going to be Iowa's bread and butter all year. Their offensive line's good. They actually ran it pretty well to the left side.
They ran it very well. Yeah.
Like the left side specifically, with obviously you got the left tackle position, up for grabs. I mean, we'll get into the depth chart in a little bit, but
the one negative note on the running side is that Kamari Moulton went down early in the first quarter, right?
Yeah, I think he had
he had 3 carries.
3 carries, yeah.
3 carries for 22 yards, which is pretty good. 3 carries for 22 yards, not bad. But then he came out in a sling in the first quarter there.
Yeah, shoulder injury.
Yeah, Ferentz said it was going to be a couple weeks maybe.
Yeah, we have a quote from him here. Ferentz said probably a couple weeks, I'm guessing, but I don't want to pin it down because I really don't know. But definitely not this week, so he's out this week.
Okay.
And he's doing fine, but it's just going to take some time.
Not great, but not the end of the world either, because we saw a lot of promising stuff out of the other running backs, specifically redshirt freshman Xavier Williams, 11 carries, 122 yards. Highest yards per attempt at 11. I used the bad highlight killer here. 11.09 at his yards per attempt. 3.4 yards after contact, also pretty good. I mean, he looked great.
Yeah, I was gonna say is obviously that is the one thing that stood out. It's okay, we can pound the ball, and we've got 3 or 4 guys.
We got 5 guys that can do it. One's hurt now, but I mean, I'm confident in all 5 backs they put on the field that game to be able to run the ball.
I think Patterson, he came in. I don't think he had his first touch until
Jazz didn't. He didn't have a carry until the second half at least, maybe even the fourth quarter.
And he looked really good too.
Yeah,
and again, it's FCS, but I actually have some stats later on when we get into Iowa State that very impressive that out of everyone he's right now the third string.
Correct, because not even Xavier Williams, Terrell Washington Jr. is listed as a starter for Iowa State. His stats this week: 15 attempts, 69 yards, 4.6 yards per carry, 2.4 after contact. Good stats, but I was kind of shocked not to see Xavier Williams get the start. I do know starters don't really matter. It's just the guy they wheel out there in the first possession, and you've got your first possession drawn up already. Maybe running the ball is not going to be their forte. Maybe Terrell's a better blocking guy, and they want to try to pass the ball, set a tone early.
We saw last year, too. I mean, the first, I think 3 weeks, I think Moulton was the first guy in the depth chart over Caleb Johnson. And obviously we would just see Caleb just take off.
And I will say that is a gripe I had with Kirk Ferentz last year, because you watch, not last year but the year before, you can tell Caleb Johnson is just the best back in that running back room. And Kirk Ferentz comes out towards the end of last year when Caleb Johnson, I believe he didn't play at all in one of the games. And someone asked Kirk about it in the press conference, and he said his quote was something along the lines of we just play the guys who look good in practice. And it was at that point I was are we sure football is what they're practicing? Because clearly Caleb Johnson is the guy. And this was 2 years ago, but I mean, he still looked great that year. And then to cap it off, I think it was Purdue or Indiana towards the end of the year, second or third to last game. And it was just a battle tied the whole time. And then Caleb Johnson broke off that run to I think it was up to the student section, right into the back corner of the end zone. It was a 40-yard run, scored the touchdown, go ahead. Kanek was a party. I mean, And from that point forward, he was kind of the guy. And then you get into next season, and again, he's not starting. And maybe he just doesn't practice as well, but practice isn't everything. And I feel like to Kirk Ferentz it is.
I mean, yeah, you never know because, Caleb's now he's projected.
He's going to start for the Steelers eventually.
No, he will eventually,
Yeah.
but, like, he's not even the backup on their depth chart right now.
Is he really?
They came out, he's a third.
Okay. Who's their backup?
I don't remember.
Jalen Warren's, I assume, the starter.
Jalen Warren's starter. Some guy that's been around.
Okay.
Like I recognize his name. I can't really remember
like a vet,
it.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like surprised that he was even the third string. So maybe he just doesn't practice very well.
Last back, Nathan McNeil, 3 attempts, 14 yards. The lone true freshman who played this week. He looked good. Obviously, there's a lot of hype around him. He's one of our better recruits. I think he'll develop a lot this year.
Yeah.
I'm curious how they'll manage his playing time. I doubt they're going to try to redshirt him, play him 6 games or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially if Moulton's out for a little bit longer.
Xavier Williams, freshman.
Yeah.
Washington's a sophomore. Patterson,
Yeah.
I think, is a junior. I know he's upperclassman, but these guys still have.
He's a junior. Yeah.
These guys still have years to go.
Yes.
And if they're looking as good, I know FCS team, but if they're looking as good as they did last week, he might have a hard time getting carries until like 2 years.
Yeah, I honestly think he'll get a bunch of carries next year because that was one of the things I talked about with another thing that happened after we recorded last week is the Van Jose injury.
Oh, yes.
Freak accident, they say, fractured his foot in
like a
practice.
day
I think he fractured his foot last year, and I think it was the same foot. I think it was a re-injury.
I didn't even know that.
They said he's going to be out 5 to 6 weeks, I think, which is not great. He obviously wasn't listed as a starter even before the injury, but neither was Wetjen, and he got a touchdown. So,
yeah. Well, you need guys like that. Also, he's a bigger wide receiver, if I remember correctly. And we've got a few guys that are on the smaller side, so he could kind of go in there and be kind of the backup for Seth Anderson. I'm guessing
he was Seth Anderson's backup. Which going back to that, so when that happened, I was texting some of my friends from high school about it, and one of my friends was like, "Oh, honestly, if he's going to be out 6 weeks, just redshirt him," And I was like, honestly, I think redshirting is becoming a little bit of a thing of the past because the amount of guys that do end up going into the transfer portal, it's not worth assuming you're going to get 4 years out of every guy on your roster like it used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
The secondary and the line, they struggled to put pressure on Shields, but they did stop the run really well.
Yeah.
They couldn't get through the line necessarily, but they also didn't let anyone pass them either.
Yeah. No, I think they that didn't stand out as something that was bad per se. I thought they were eventually, in the second half. I think a lot of this was the second half.
A lot of it they put it together in the second half, and at that point everyone was a little jaded already.
But that first drive, I was like, oh,
that touchdown drive was, and Shields he was a little feisty back there. He was moving around.
He was playing
but
well.
they couldn't get the pressure on him. His stats, I don't think we have his stats in here, but they weren't great.
I've got the game up. Shields was 13 for 26, 134 yards, 1 touchdon, 0 interceptions.
Well, blew us out of the water.
But he was also their leading carrier, leading rusher with 12 carries for 30 yards.
Goes to show that the line did put a stop to the run really well.
Yeah, only 2 yards per carry.
The secondary, I think, like I said last week, I think we don't have a lot of answers in the secondary after this week.
I'm worried about. That was exactly
what
I was
very
saying.
worried as well after the game. I was like, wow, we got blown away. But looking at these stats, it's not as bad as it. So TJ Hall, 5 targets, 3 completions on him for 31 yards. Not great. Deshaun Lee, Jalen Watson, Cohen Entranger, no completions on either of them. 2 targets for the first 2. Cohen Entranger, 1 target. And then Zach Lutmer, 3 targets, 1 completion on him. Only 4 completions that they're putting on a on a D-back or on a defender.
I understand that, it's not always going to be their fault. I don't know, just the eye test. Not even looking at the stats, but the eye test, that first half, I was exactly my worry from last week was
the secondary.
Gronowski in the secondary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you asked at one point what did we want to see out of this week, and I said I wanted to see Gronowski just make some passes.
Yeah.
And you said you wanted to see the secondary step up. Those are the 2 things we did not get in this game for sure.
Hey, we know what we're talking about, I guess.
Another thing I said last week that did come true, Stevens 55-yarder. I think that was good from 70.
Oh, that looked so good.
They crushed that thing.
I actually love the announcers were talking about State a little bit too much during the game.
Yeah.
But I actually loved their reaction to Stevens' index. They were just like, oh, like, what are they doing here? Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're just going to give him a shot at this, like a 55-yarder.
Yeah.
And he just
crushed
it so
it.
easy. Like, he looked like he hit that so easily.
Oh, it was very easy. And we're right at the north end zone, obviously went to the opposite end zone, and we could just see that thing sail, and I was like, God damn, that was good for a while.
Yeah, I don't think I texted you much about like the game itself.
Yeah.
I think that was the one thing I texted. I was
Yeah.
just like,
the two things were the secondary looked bad, and damn, Stevens really did drill
Yeah.
that.
So we got a good kicker.
Career high for him, which I was actually shocked to hear. I thought that one at Wrigley would have been further.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a 58 or something, the game winner in that.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
we were talking about. I don't remember. It's probably
As I
it's
just
probably
point to
52
Wrigley.
or something. Yeah.
I'm doxing myself. Wrigley's that way from me.
Yeah. Well, I'm even closer to Wrigley.
That's true, yeah. Going back to Iowa State last year, I think we would have had a better shot letting him kick that field goal last play of the game than we did throwing the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
It would have been like a 68-yarder or something, but like
I think.
he had the wind at his back. I think
this year you think they go for it.
I think you got to this year. I think last year he could have made it. Would he have made it? Probably not. I do think he had a better shot of making that than we had at completing a Hail Mary game-winning touchdown. We should have just kicked that ball. I would have felt better losing on a short field goal than I would have on just a Hail Mary. A Hail Mary of a Hail Mary.
Yeah, I agree. So I was watching the FSU game before.
Yeah, which I assume we'll get into that a little bit later here too.
Yeah.
As a FSU fan by proximity, I'm sure you're pretty hyped about that.
Oh, that was a great game. Yeah, no, definitely. I was trying to convince my girlfriend that my girlfriend went to Florida State, so she's a big Florida State fan, and she going into the year was just like, no, I'm not not
gonna
after
get
last
hyped.
year,
Yeah.
not getting hyped. And I just kept texting her. She was out. Some friends, I kept texting her, I'm like, dude, you got to watch this game. And then she eventually started watching the game. And now she's all pumped.
Watching it?
No, because she was
Wow,
like so
I guess
disappointed.
It's true. If Iowa opened the season against Alabama, I might go distract
Well,
myself.
after like a 2-10 season.
Yeah, after
everything
one of
they
the
went
worst
through,
seasons
like,
in history, after one of the best but most disappointing seasons in history.
She was just like, I'll have it up like the score like on my phone, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch it. But then I texted her and she was like, all right. But
gotta turn that on.
So actually, what was really interesting about watching Florida State is that they obviously got new coordinators and their new offensive coordinator. Can't remember his name, but he does a very run heavy offense like Iowa. It's very different than Iowa's offense, but similarities there where they are very run heavy, and they have a QB that can run, just like Gronowski.
Gus Mazahan or something.
Yeah. When I was watching their game, I was like, this is the way to do it. With Kirk's never going to be this fancy because this guy is, they create a lot of, players going one way, a lot of kind of distraction with their running, and they write up a lot more. Castellanos, their QB, is he's a better player than Gronowski. And he's a better runner, but obviously that's top end style.
Yeah.
Where I was looking at that and I'm like, dude, Iowa could take so much from this. If they're throwing, their passing game looks that bad.
Yes.
There's still a way to win games against good opponents, running like that. They're doing a lot of jet sweeps. They're throwing a lot of different stuff. And honestly, the big thing that I took out of it was get Wetchen the ball, man.
Absolutely.
Him and what's the wide receivers?
That kid that had the punt return at the end of the game. What was his name?
Yeah. Well, him and who's the new guy we got from Chattanooga? Phillips.
Yes.
Phillips also which they did I think one play where he kind of jet sweep type of thing, but
yeah.
I was watching there and they had this Florida State had this all-state track guy, and they just they did the same play twice and he got 40 yards both times, one for a touchdown. And it was just a little misdirection, but you get a guy that can run, and you can get some yards. And I'm watching that, I was we need Iowa to do this sort of thing. I mean, Wetchen's already a graduate student, and we haven't utilized his speed besides on kick and punt returns. That's something I need to see happen more, especially if our passing offense is going to look as
I would love to
as it
see
did
Kirk
last week.
Ferentz run some jet sweeps.
Yeah, just
which we did a few with. Well, they let DeJean run that jet sweep in the Northwestern game. Yeah,
but just more of that. Get your Iowa's in the past few years have been very bad about getting their skilled guys the ball.
I agree.
They've been a little
because they are
passing.
just a nose down, hammered up the middle offense.
Yeah, which obviously last year worked with Caleb Johnson. But I'm just saying, if they want to switch things up, which Iowa, Kirk Ferentz very, he
Yeah.
doesn't like to do. But
And to do that, though, you also have to complete those easy open passes when you get the opportunities. Otherwise, they're going to shut it down.
Like what Florida State was doing. They were hitting, they had a few 40-yard passes because they were doing all these different run plays to keep the defense, in check.
And it looked like this week we couldn't do that. Not that I don't think Gronowski can, but this week he couldn't.
Well, I think that it's kind of what we saw in the second half, which is why I wasn't worried. They're like, okay, well, we know we can get 10 yards per carry.
Yes.
We need to win this game. So,
but we
let's
can't
just
get 10
go
yards
out
per
there.
carry against every opponent on our schedule. That's
especially,
the thing.
especially in the Big Ten.
Exactly.
There's a lot better defenses.
Off of Gronowski and the passing struggles a little bit, the receiving, interesting to say the least, completed a pass to 8 different receivers throughout the game. All of them for 1 reception, except for Seth Anderson, the lone 2 receptions, 9 yards. Longest reception, Jacob Gill for 13 yards. Hayden Large caught a pass. We shouted him out last week.
Now, right?
He is. And then, obviously, Wetchen caught that touchdown pass, too. The 1 receiving touchdown, which I was kind of shocked he even got in on a passing set.
Wait, was that a passing touchdown by Gronowski? That was Gronowski who passed to him, right?
He had the rushing touchdown, too, though.
Oh, did he have both?
Was it Hank Brown that threw that passing touchdown?
No, it had to be. I might have just completely. Yeah, no, I just took it. The very beginning of the show, I definitely just took away Gronowski's throwing.
You know what? The
bad.
the stats that I have up here, 8 for 15, 44 yards, 1 touchdown, is specifically passing stats.
Oh, okay.
That's why
bad.
we're confused. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 pass. He might have had 3 actually.
Did he have a rushing touchdown?
He did. He cramped up.
That's why. Okay, yeah, my bad on the passing touchdown.
No, that makes sense because I just copied the passing stats, which was 1 passing touchdown, not his overall stats.
That's how mad I was with our passing offense. I just convinced myself we didn't have a passing touchdown that game.
Well, I mean, we only had 1, so and it was like a 4-yard pass. Well, I guess I can tell you because 1 touchdown that was Caden Wetchen. It was a 2-yard pass.
Yeah, I mean, we had 48 yards passing from both Hank Brown and Gronowski.
Yeah.
So sorry that I missed our 1 throwing touchdown.
Any other notes we want to go over on this game? I think overall it was a disappointing.
Disappointing outcome.
That's
second half looked bad. I mean, again, I think we already went over it, but running game looked great.
Running game looked great.
I think that was the only thing that really was okay, we have an option against good teams.
We can run the ball.
We can run the ball.
I guess so. After this week, updates to our season expectations. The books say to make the playoff, we were previously plus 790. We're now plus 1040. Yeah, so that makes not sense. Shocking. Yeah. Went down per FanDuel again. I cannot find Big Ten championship odds for us anymore. I don't know if they're so far-fetched they're not offering them at this point.
Probably not.
Or if I just couldn't.
Hey, we are undefeated. I don't know what they're talking
that's
about.
true. That's true. We got just as good a shot as anybody else right now. And then I put a bullet point in here where I said I don't even want to update our win-loss projections pre-ISU because I really have no idea. That's the most frustrating thing is that game. I don't feel like I know any more about this team than I did before the game happened.
Yeah.
Where I knew we were going to be decent at running. I was nervous about Gronowski. I was nervous about the secondary, and I just feel like we're in the exact same spot.
Yeah. I actually feel a little bit worse.
I would, yeah.
A little bit
honestly,
worse.
I do, yeah.
I will say, it just came to mind though, is that I think we got the tush push. He's a good.
That's true. We will. Do we have the Nate Stanley QB sneak for 4 yards at a time back?
I think we do.
Because that is maybe my favorite play Iowa's ever run, where you just put Nate Stanley under center, and you've got what's his name, the center.
Linderbaum?
Yeah, you just put Nate Stanley under Tyler Linderbaum, and that ball just goes 4 yards every time. And it was
no, that's I swear.
Back to Iowa State. That was that Iowa State game a few years ago where we ran it 4 plays in a row in the red zone, and we just bullied them all the way down. It was awesome.
Well, I was saying, I think we can do that this year. I mean, we did that. I think it was 3rd and 1, or 3rd and 2, and did the same thing.
Yeah, I do think Gronowski's not quite the same guy Stanley was. Stanley was he was a meaty man.
Yeah,
he just was almost injury proof. It felt like you could just put him under center and you wouldn't worry about him taking a hit.
Yeah.
Whereas Gronowski, it's I'm less worried about him taking a hit as I am some of our previous quararbabbs.
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
I'm not worried about it per se either.
Yeah. No. Definitely.
2 big games this week. Obviously, Texas, Ohio State. I had money on Ohio State, so I'll take that.
I hoped they would win. I mean, I don't know what.
Hey, if Arch Manning doesn't look good, then it doesn't matter if Gronowski looks good.
Yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts on this? Like, whenever there's a big matchup like that, I always go for the Big Ten team.
It depends. This time, I just felt like Ohio State was the more complete team. I just coming off of last year, I'm kind of was blown away Ohio State didn't get the nod at the one, being the defending national champs, just because preseason polls really don't mean anything. Like, just give it to the guys who won it last year and let week 1 play out.
It's SEC bias.
Yeah, it is.
I'll say I worked for ESPN.
Yeah,
it's
SEC bias.
SEC biased all the way.
I mean, it was Texas and then Georgia and then Ohio State. LSU's jumped Georgia this week. The new top 5, we have Ohio State, Penn State. Big Ten bias, I guess, coming in full. LSU jumped Georgia and then Miami. And then Texas jumped down to 7.
I'm surprised
that feels
I'm surprised
fine.
That Penn State. I mean, they didn't play anybody.
I was
right?
also just I brushed by Ohio State then Penn State, but that kind of blew my mind when I saw they were up to number 2.
Is this ESPN? Is this also AP?
This is they're both AP. So this
okay.
is previous AP, and then this is next week's AP. Or this week's
I'm
AP.
surprised Penn State jumped when Georgia also had.
Actually, maybe this is an AP. Now I'm looking about it. ESPN FPI. I honestly just looked at Texas 1, Ohio State 3, and I went, "That's AP," and I pulled it into this. Maybe that's not, but regardless.
Yeah, regardless. Any big surprises in top 25 right now?
Yes, I would say Florida State at 14 and Alabama. Where are they on here?
They're definitely in the
21.
Oh yeah, they're down there. That's why I couldn't find them.
Yeah, and I think you would say an unbeaten or a Florida State team that was awful last year coming in and beating Bama, and Bama being 5-5 in their last 10 games. I think a lot of people want them out of the poll. My personal opinion is it's week 2. I don't really give a shit. If they're still in the poll and they lose another game and it's week 5, I'm gonna be pissed about it. But I just don't really care.
Well, it's so funny the first few weeks because I was so ready for Alabama to still be ranked higher than Florida State.
Oh yeah, I was so ready for it. I was completely prepared for that.
Well,
to be the
they started off at number 8, and this other team started off unranked. I swear they always do that.
Alabama
sometimes.
lost to the team that beat Alabama. That's a quality loss.
That's true. That's a quality loss right there.
Iowa State up to 16, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Our opponent this week. Now is our shot to knock them out of the top 20. Do you think if we beat them, they're out of the top 25?
Yeah.
I think week 3 they got to be.
Well,
it is kind of a crazy drop to go from 16 to out of the top, though.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can rank us.
or 24.
Yeah, but I don't think if we beat Iowa State, you can rank us, and you can't have them higher than us.
I think it just depends on what the rest of. I think it depends on what the rest.
What everyone else does.
As we just said, though, is if you beat a ranked team, essentially because there's no real else to
There's no metric yet. Yeah.
There's no metric yet. You're Iowa. If they beat Iowa State, they will have a ranked win, and there's gonna be so many other teams that don't have a ranked win.
That's true.
I think they would put them in the top 25.
Honestly, my biggest shocks were in the others receiving votes. You have Nebraska at 12 and Kansas State at 7, even after that just absolute shit the bed performance this week. They're still receiving 7 votes. And also Liberty has 4. That's always, fuck Liberty for all the reasons in the world, but just why?
It's just funny because I always look at the other receiving vote, and I understand you need to give some of the smaller teams their flowers.
Again, I think it's too early to give them their flowers, though. Give them their flowers after week 4 when they've
UNLV has 4 votes.
Yeah, James Madison has 4, Memphis 2.
Even Navy, Duke, Iowa beats them. I don't care.
As far as next week, only really big games: Iowa State, and Michigan 15 at Oklahoma 18. That's 6:30 on Saturday.
Doesn't Notre Dame play a ranked team?
Do they? I just looked at ESPN. It's possible I missed one. I just scrolled through.
Yeah, it's they're it's a must win. Yeah, Notre Dame, Texas A&M.
Oh, okay. So there is another big. What time is that one?
That's at 6:30.
Oh wow, they're competing. Michigan and Oklahoma State at the same time. But then honestly, Iowa State's the 3rd biggest game next week.
That's our big noon.
We are big noon kickoff, which I'm so sick of all the pregame shows. Every channel's got their own show now, and it's just
I hate.
It's not a big deal anymore.
I can go on a rant here about the whole big noon kickoff. Why are you putting the best games at 11 a.m.? Why?
Because they don't want to compete with ESPN's prime
I know
time slot.
But at least put them in the afternoon, man.
The 2:30 slot. Yeah.
I'm not in college anymore. I'm not waking up that early.
Yeah, and not rolling out of bed at 10:45, cracking a beer, and flopping down on the couch for 12 hours.
Up, get ready for the game, because I do want to I want to get some. If I'm going to watch the game at a bar, I want to be able to get up, get there in time.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like this week I'm driving to. I almost forgot it. Don't kill me, but I almost forgot it was Sac. I had these plans for a while. I forgot that Sac Week was this week specifically. So driving, I have to I'm now planning on leaving a few hours earlier than I was going to, so that I could get down there before the game starts.
Before the game, yeah.
Because I literally was like, oh shit, what time's the game at? And I was looking, and I'm like, God, it's 11 a.m.
It's big noon, baby. Which I can't remember the last time Iowa State was an 11 a.m. game. It's been 2:30 for years now.
Yeah.
Too deep for Iowa State. Not any major changes, obviously. At wide receiver, Dayton Howard replacing Vanderzee on the depth chart. Obviously, he's injured. And then Kamari Moulton no longer on the depth chart. And then, again, we covered it earlier, but Terrell Washington Jr. listed as the starter. Xavier Williams.
And Patterson are the...
Yeah, Xavier Williams or Patterson as the second string.
Yeah, and then I think...
And they'll all get carries.
Yeah. I think the big thing that stands out for me is that left tackle position where... I think in the first game it was Lauk or...
Yeah, they had it listed as an or. And they had Dotzler listed as the starter or Lauk, and then ended up being Lauk started over Dotzler.
Yeah.
And this week that or is gone.
Yeah, so this week it is, Lauk.
Which I thought they both played well, to be honest. I think they'll probably still rotate them in and out a little bit. They'll both get time.
To be honest, it's probably they're going to throw Lauk in there until he looks, kind of looks tired, looks bad for maybe
needs
a snap.
Break, yeah.
Give him a short leash.
And then obviously it's only a 2 deep, so Nathan McNeil will play again, I would assume. It's just not listed because the only reason Xavier Williams and Jazz are on there is because they're listed as an or. Otherwise, it'd just be one of the two of them. But yeah, I imagine we'll play 4 running backs deep again.
Yeah. We want to get into the game.
The ISU preview. Yeah. Well, combating Caleb Johnson was Conradi hit not a personal record, but a school record 63-yard field goal at the game last week.
Oh damn! I didn't even see that.
Oh yeah, no, it was kind of it was right before half.
Is that the same guy that hit the game-winning field goal against us? I'm pretty sure that guy was a freshman.
Yeah, it would almost have to be.
Yeah, I'd assume
it was a good kick. I'll give him credit. I do think, while on paper it was a longer field goal than Drew Stevens, Stevens had more. It had more meat. It had gone longer.
It would have gone more.
We get into a field goal battle. I feel confident that we come out on top.
Yeah. So game lines for the as of now via FanDuel, the spread ISU -2.5, over under is 41.5 at -110. That over under
I would honestly
seems a little high.
I was gonna say I might even take the over on that.
Oh really?
I don't know. I do think they could. I don't know. I'm not super confident about this game anymore.
I think it's come down to their trenches, as I said kind of last week. If Iowa can, if you win the trenches, you can win the game.
Yeah.
But if Iowa can keep up the running and just dominate that aspect of things, they will win the game. We don't need to be throwing the ball if they can consistently get 6-7 yards per carry. I don't expect them to be able to get 7 yards per carry, but hypothetically, if they're getting if they're just dominating that aspect, I just don't know how
you can wear out a defense really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against the two teams that they've played, that is Iowa State, they've played. Their rushing yards per carry against is 4 yards. So it's still it's not a lot.
You get 4 yards a carry. That's a first down in every 4 downs, every 3 downs.
I should look at what Iowa's was, but or what the average is. But 4 doesn't seem like it's not a lot. But they also played one bad team last week.
Yeah, it's not huge, but it's also all you need is 4 yards. When you line up for a down, 4 yards is that's your goal. If you get 4 yards, you're getting a first down eventually.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, 4 yards per carry against two. I don't know how Kansas State will be this year, but against an FCS team
especially after this week.
Iowa held their FCS opponent to 2 yards per carry.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Fun fact, Kansas State, when I was looking at the new lines, which also I didn't mention, Iowa's over-under is now dropped from 7.5 to 6.5, but it's at -144 or something. Okay. So it's not a huge change when it comes down to the meat of it. But Kansas State's dropped from what it was 8.5 down to 6.5 too. So that's...
Yeah, and they looked They looked bad.
They looked bad.
Game. So it's, who knows how much it mattered that game against Iowa State matters, and how much.
And you got to remember they're coming back from Ireland. Maybe they're just really jet lagged. Maybe they didn't transition.
It is hard
back as well.
It's like you want to. All right, Iowa State went up against a ranked opponent. Mm-hmm. You want to see what you could take out of that game, but it's just so hard to take stuff.
It's
out of that
such
game.
a fluke scenario.
Yeah.
The spread, the over under. I think I saw a couple places early. It was a ISU minus 3.5. I think you give me that, I would take Iowa. I could see us losing by a field goal, and I'd feel confident about putting money on that. 2.5. Vegas did their job. I'm not sure. If you gun to my head over under, I would probably say over on 41.5. To be honest. Again, I could see that. I'm not putting money on that though.
No, I'm not. I don't like putting money on on big games.
Yeah.
Like of my teams.
Yeah.
If it's just like if it was like I didn't put money, but like if it was like last week, I'd probably something about rush yards or
I did have a $1 free bet, so I took the Iowa minus 34 or whatever, and honestly it got closer than I thought it would at the end there. But
we're looking at kind of key matchups in this game, kind of things I think that will kind of make or break the game, and it's going to be how Rocco Breck plays against our secondary.
Yes.
It all comes, full circle with the secondary, the trenches.
Looks unfortunately pretty good.
That last game, I mean, I will say, the thing is, they did look impressive last game. It was against FCS's opponent, but South Dakota's not a bad.
They're not a bad FCS opponent. Yeah.
They
won the championship last year, didn't they?
No, they lost. I actually just looked before this. They lost. I think in the quarterfinals to the eventual champions, Montana State.
Did they win 2 years ago then?
They might have won 2 years ago.
Okay.
So that's why I was maybe South Dakota would give them a little bit of fits. But, they looked good. Breck looked good. 19 for 20, 278 yards, 3 touchdowns. He couldn't really do much better.
Yeah, correct.
So that's why
maybe at the end of the day, South Dakota State, maybe they end up 2-10.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe we
if
run
Florida
away.
State can do it, they can do it.
That's true. Did South Dakota State lose a quarterback and get left out of the FCS playoffs last year? Can we check into that?
I do think that the QB that they had last year is the QB that was in this game, if my research was correct.
For South Dakota State.
Yeah, which, is better for the case for Iowa State that, only gave up seven points to them.
Yeah.
I was looking at the receiving, at least last game, and no one really stood out. I kind of looked at both games.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading this other stat you put in here. Iowa doesn't have a passing touchdown against ISU since 2021. Spencer Petras. I didn't see that earlier. That's insane.
I'm coughing. Yeah, we were going to get to that, but...
That's blowing my mind. Are you serious?
Yeah.
How'd we win 3 of those games?
I don't know. Unless I missed a year, I'm pretty sure they have not.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, hey, maybe we don't need to complete a pass to win.
Yeah.
We're 3 for 4 on not completing a pass and beating them. So, fuck it. What do I know? We got 4 running backs. Just put them up the gut.
Exactly.
And walk out of there with a win. Was that 2021? That was the year after COVID. We didn't play 2020. What game was that? That would have been at Iowa State,
I'm gonna look it up right now.
So the rain delay game was 2019. I was at that game. We were in the student section and we ran out on the field during the rain delay. We were part of that crowd. It was very fun. But that was the game where they punted and they ran into their own guy at the end in 2019, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the rain delay game because it ended up being way late. They punted the ball, ran into their own guy, fumbled it. I don't remember this 2021 game, to be honest.
This is the one where Brock Purdy threw 3 interceptions.
That's yes. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I remember from it. Because obviously, at the time we know he was going to be an NFL QB. But he was Iowa State the last 5+ years have had very solid QBs.
That'd have been his senior year, right?
I believe so. They outgained us 340 yards to 173, and we still beat him by 10.
Yes, I remember this game vividly now. Okay. Yep. Yes.
That's what I've been saying. We don't just run the damn ball.
I guess.
But yeah, so kind of going back to the matchups part, Breck looked good, and our secondary did not look good last game. So I am worried about that. I don't know that much about the Iowa State's wide receivers, but just looking at it, didn't seem like anyone, just the stats.
They're younger, yeah.
Didn't seem like anyone was dominant in the last 2 games for them. It looks like kind of, again, Iowa State. The tight ends, I think, were kind of the players that were getting the most traction, which, like, usually tight ends are usually covered by linebackers.
Yeah, I think it depends on you line them up, but typically I would say because a lot of the times they're like they stay back for the block or they break off the line, and it's like a linebacker in there.
Okay, because I'll say, I mean, if it's a lot of it's like,
we've lined tight ends up out wide.
That's
before,
true.
So
I guess it just depends.
I think Noah Fant lined up out wide a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends, but so that's kind of, I think, a big thing to look at, because I feel like if they can pass the ball, that well, I think we're in trouble.
And Sama looked good too. So I mean, obviously he's a veteran back. Like, he's coming with some experience. Like, if they can't pass the ball, it's not like we shut them down. Even like we talked about, like, the line did a really good job stopping the run, but it's not like they've got nobody back there at running back either.
Yeah. I didn't really know. I mean, again, I didn't really watch too much, but I didn't really know what to take about their defense. I have some stats here. In 2 games, they only had 1 sack, but they also had 17 tackles for loss.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's like they just.
And I think Kansas State checks down to the running back a lot, so it might be that.
Okay.
A little out wide too.
Because I was like, at first I was like, damn, like, they're not getting to the QB. Even against, like, you think against, like, an FCS opponent, you get more. Like, Iowa had 2 sacks
we
last year. Last week.
We didn't get to the QB this week.
Yeah, that's true. Iowa had 5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. Iowa State's rush yards per game was 176. Yards per carry was only 4, though.
Yeah.
So I did think that was kind of something that stood out, was that even against, like, they put up 55 points.
And obviously at the end of last week, I mean, they pulled the starters middle of the 3rd quarter last week.
But even against, like, Kansas State, which, again, we've already talked about kind of the asterisks against that. But even then, like, their offense didn't look great until the 4th quarter. So
yeah. I think, honestly, for Iowa and Iowa State, it's like this week is the test for both defenses. I think this is where you see what your defense is made of, and this is where you set your expectations for the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, I mean, even Iowa, like, coming back from Iowa State, we've got UMass and then Indiana. Like, we should win both of those games.
Yeah.
I know Indiana's ranked, but I don't know.
I even have Indiana friends that were like, they're worried about that game.
Yeah.
Especially because it's also at Iowa. So
it is, yeah.
I think the last time they were at Iowa was when...
I think Iowa State is a harder opponent than Indiana this year.
I would agree.
Yeah. Complete side note. Did you see Ryan Day's nipple piercing?
No.
You didn't see this?
No.
Oh my God. I have got to show you this. This is the craziest news in college football this week.
You said Ryan Day?
Ryan Day, the Ohio State coach. Look at this picture somebody took of him coming off of the sideline after the Texas game. This is
my man's. What do you...
And it's just like, I've read the Reddit threads and the Twitter threads about this, and everybody is like, the consensus is just like, I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah, no, there's looking at the picture, go look it up.
Yeah, I'll put it in the link dump as well.
There's nothing else it can be.
The only thing that I've seen that even seems slightly plausible is like maybe they lobbed him up or something, but like it just doesn't really fit the bill. It just looks too on brand. And also, if you want to have a nipple piercing, go wild. Ryan Day just doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would have a nipple piercing.
You do you. Like, I don't care, but like, just not the guy.
It's just shocking to see the Ohio State coach who's like, he's like a Midwestern, like, corn-fed, like, let's run the ball, man. Just walking off the field with the nipple piercing was so funny to me. It was crazy. And then also
good for him.
The Mike Gundy press conference, he was talking about playing Nebraska, and they were walking out, and it was like -15. His quote was something like, "I walked out dressed like the kid from A Christmas Story," and the Nebraska offensive linemen were on the other side of the field, and they had their shirts like tucked up over their collarbones, and like how scary that made him. But there's just this photo of Mike Gundy in the press conference, demonstrating what the Nebraska players were doing and holding his shirt up. And somebody made this meme. I'll put all this in the link dump. So yeah, check the description or yeah.
You gotta stop making me laugh. I'm coughing. I don't know what this is.
Somebody made this meme, and I laughed at this for a good 10 minutes.
That's good.
Yeah, that was my favorite news out of college football this week was the Ryan Day nipple piercing, and I don't think anyone has asked him about it, and somebody needs to ask him about it.
Yeah, I need a reporter just to like go be like, yo, okay, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like just
one
tell
person,
us.
I cannot verify any of this, but I saw somebody say that apparently he used to be kind of big in the punk scene when he was like in college, so like it adds up. But it just was like caught me so off guard, like seeing that, because seeing Ryan Day, your first thought is like, oh, what is that? Because like you're like, oh, it looks like a nipple piercing, that's funny, but like what actually is it? And the more you look at it, you're like,
that's just a nipple.
There's nothing else that can be.
That's wild. I didn't see that.
Do you think he's ever taken his shirt off in the locker room? Like, do you think the team knows, or do you think this is like a secret? Like, is it a closeted nipple piercing, like, or is he out with
bigger,
it?
He's like kind of like a bigger boy, so like I wonder if he just doesn't take off a shirt.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I feel like
he doesn't seem like the kind of coach either to like win a game and like rip off his shirt and scream and dump the Gatorade.
That's
either.
part of it.
Yeah.
Like, if he was very outgoing and a little bit more like,
feel like that's funny. I could see like maybe he had a really big win, maybe he got really drunk, and maybe he woke up with that. That's a great story.
Yeah. But yeah, he seems very like just tells the boys good job and just goes home like even after like the national
goes home to his wife and kids.
Yeah.
You know,
doesn't seem like he gets a little frisky.
Yeah, that was my favorite news of the week, to be honest. That I was
my favorite news was just Alabama losing.
That was another good one.
Gotta love an Alabama.
Going back to that really quick, it was great. I did, however, have a parlay. It was just a bunch of I a lot of the times I'll make a parlay with a bunch of the heavy favorites money line, not like the super heavy, but like the ones at like -400 to -600. I'll just parlay the ones that I feel pretty confident about. I was pretty confident about Alabama, Florida State, and it was the only one that lost. It was It was I put like $10 on it to win like 50, and it was it came down to that, and I was sitting there and I was like, that'd be nice to win that money, but like this is good too.
I will say, shout out Castellanos, the Florida State QB, man. He off season hadn't even practiced with his team yet, and he's just like, they don't got Nick Saban, like they
don't got Nick Saban to save him anymore, as I think something what he said. Yeah, he's like
no, and he's like they can't stop me.
Yeah,
and I remember like the first quarter, like I don't even know if they scored yet, but he like it was like 3rd and something. He like scrambled for like a 10-yard gain. He gets hit out of bounds. He's like flexing on the
talk about
Alabama.
Put your money where your mouth is.
And I was just like, dude, like I wanted Florida State to win so badly.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like you can't be doing that. Like they're gonna like get all pissed off. But no, he stood on business. Like
I saw a comment about it that where it was like somebody was like, to be honest, this really wasn't worth the risk for him, but it paid off.
Yeah, there was no reason for him to do that.
There was absolutely no reason to set yourself up for that kind of failure. But hey, it worked out.
Dude, I hope this dude goes to the league now. Like, like I haven't seen much like someone standing on business like that. Like, no reason for it. Like. They're not rivals.
Yeah, it's like, I could see him having like a kind of like Kirk Cousins energy, you know?
Yeah. He's gonna have so much expectations the rest of the year now.
Yes.
It's gonna be like, oh, like you're the next Jordan Travis, like.
Yeah.
So we'll see. How
I'm excited to see that season play out.
Oh, I'll be watching.
And Alabama's play out. It might be the fall of a dynasty.
I'll invite you if we go over to what is it? I think Country Club's the Florida State bar in Wrigley.
Yeah.
I'll have to let you know if we go there.
Sounds good. What's his name? Who's the coach? DeBoer. His buyout, if they want to fire him this year, is $63 million. Like absurd. Yeah, that guy, that is highway robbery he got away with.
Yeah, good shit to his lawyer.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Washington was offering him a ton of money, too, to keep him. Like, I think it was like the AD came out and he said, look, I've talked to every donor we have, and I've put together more money than this university has ever seen. And if he doesn't accept this, there's literally nothing else we can do. And
which is good for them.
To be fair, if you have a $63 million buyout in this is year 2, right? Like, they were never going to compete with that.
I think he already has as many top 25 losses
as Saban did in his whole career. Yeah. Yep.
Career.
Yeah, I think it was 5 apiece.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, it is hard because he is taking over. Like technically his guys aren't even in yet.
Yeah, but you got Nick Saban's guys.
I know. No, that is true.
And sure, some of them transferred out, but at the end of the day, you got Nick Saban's guys that you're working with.
Do you know what just came to mind though? That also kind of made me a little happy.
I think I know what you're talking about.
When Caden Proctor got that like really like bad like false start penalty in the fourth quarter that kind of didn't seal the deal, but like I was just like like fuck you, man.
Yeah.
I did not care when he.
I didn't care when he went there the first time.
Yeah, no, I did not
That
care.
was
I was like,
fine.
good for him.
Yeah.
He's trying to go to the NFL. Get it.
And people shit on him too much.
People
and it
were
was
shitting
like,
on him,
yeah.
and I was just like no, like he doesn't
You
deserve
can't
that.
blame him. Yeah.
Like Alabama's another level than Iowa, like
Yeah.
straight up. But
the second
after
time
the
it came
second
around,
time,
it was
I'm
like, all
fuck
right,
this
buddy,
man.
fuck you. It's kind of the opposite of like the fool me once, shame on you. It was like
Yeah.
the first time it was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, like,
the
I was
second
like, oh, I
time,
respect
no,
that.
second time, shame
No,
on
yeah,
you.
fuck you. Like screw you for that. You came
Yeah.
here, just
and
took
we
money
got
and
a
left.
fucking recruiting violation for it.
Yeah, no, fuck
We
that
didn't
guy.
even get the guy. We got a
I
recruiting
literally
violation.
was like gonna like I like followed him like kind of his first year at Alabama. Like I wanted him to do well.
Yeah, agreed.
And then he pulls that shit. No,
Yeah.
like screw that.
Yeah.
Like screw Proctor, man.
Yeah.
Like that rubbed me the wrong. That rubbed me the wrong way.
He
I was like
just
really defending
did it the
him.
wrong way. Yeah.
And I guess I don't know the full story.
And they
Maybe
say he
something
didn't get any
happened.
money out of us, but you got to think he got something.
Yeah, the fact that he tried.
What I heard is that he was like committed to Iowa, and then he had a spring break trip planned with his former Alabama teammates already that year. Went on that trip, and they like convinced him to come back to Alabama on that trip. I don't know how true.
I know.
That is.
I'm saying screw him. I don't know him.
Yeah.
It's obviously a reactionary thing, and like you don't know the full story.
I
but,
think
like,
it's fair to say screw him from a fan perspective, just for the way he handled the situation.
Yes, 100%. Because it did look just on paper that, left Alabama, came to Iowa, was
Yeah.
like, I'm all in, got money out of it, did a sponsorship,
And then
this
just
and
fucked
that, and then
off.
just completely left.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, any other notes for this week?
yeah. So actually, I remembered this watching the game 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So as we were saying, like Patterson is the number 3 running back right now.
Yeah.
Or technically, I think he's second, third. But I remember watching the game against Iowa, or it was Iowa State in 2023, and Iowa wasn't really getting, like, I think Caleb Johnson was the starter, and he wasn't really doing much. I think he literally had like 2.5 yards per carry that
Yeah.
game. And I remember they put in like Patterson, and he like I just remember watching that, and he like kind of changed the game. Like he
Yeah.
came in and he was just bulldozing down the middle, getting like
he's
8 yards per
a
game.
bit of a different kind of back.
Yeah, and I think like
And
it worked perfectly.
it
And
did.
obviously it's 2 years ago. It's not the same team, but like you need performances like that. Like I just remember like Patterson, like I was like, oh, like he's next up. Like
Yeah.
I was like after that
I
game,
feel like
I
there's
was
a guy like
he's
that
next
every
up.
year at Iowa.
That is true. But I was like, he's next up, and then he just hasn't really panned out. And obviously
Yeah.
Caleb was Caleb.
Yeah.
But then Moulton came around out of nowhere, like
Yeah, truly
but
last year.
To be honest, like going into a game and knowing like that's our third string, and he's already proven that he like can
Play
kind of
this
take
team,
over
play
a
this
game
offense or defense yeah.
against Iowa State. Like,
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. That was just kind of like a little note that I remembered, and I like looked up the stats. He had 10 carries, 86 yards, so almost 9 yards per carry and a touchdown in that game. And he like came off the bench, so like
Yeah.
the
That was
fact
his
that he's our
freshman year.
third- yeah, freshman year. The fact that he's our third string right now, like feeling good, feeling good.
Yeah. I would agree.
But Sat, I think it's all we got.
I
right?
think so. We got
Last thoughts?
obviously
What
after
we-
Iowa State, we got UMass the following week. Not going to look ahead to that one because, again, that should be an easy victory. But
I'm excited for the game, though. As always, it's
I'm not. This is the most. This is probably the more like on the excited to nervous scale. This is probably the closest I've been to nervous going into this game in a long time.
like I am excited going in, but then game day, I will be like stressing.
Yes, this one's almost more dread than excitement.
Yeah, like that's like it's like almost like I have a hard time sometimes where I'm like
Yeah.
I like obviously I'm gonna watch every single play,
Yeah.
but like part of me is just like
It's also
don't-
because I have so many Iowa State friends who I know that
yes,
they
I don't have any.
yeah, growing up in Des Moines, half the people I know are Iowa State fans, and it's like, God, they beat you once in 10 years, and they won't stop talking about it.
Yeah. I mean that's that baby brother energy over
It's
there.
yeah, and I just know I'm gonna hear about it constantly.
Yeah, no, I
We'll
get
see.
that.
And that's the worst part about it too is when you beat them, you just kind of got to put your head down and be like, "Yep, that's what should have happened." And you can't really talk your shit because it's like, even
mean,
though
that's-
this year maybe we
that's just-
should, it's
yeah.
just I never do because it always feels like a game we should win.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that is like not to
Not to get on our pedestal here.
Yeah, but like, we're the better
I
program.
was the better program.
They're the better
Yeah.
program. Historically, they're the better program. The last few years, like, the Iowa State's done a lot of good shit. Like,
Mhm.
but, like, at the end of the day, like, they're still little brother.
They are. I know a lot of Iowa fans too are like, this isn't even a game we should play. I disagree with that.
I also disagree with that.
Because you need your Power 5 non-con opponent, and I like it being Iowa State. It's a good rivalry. It's a good game. I enjoy the matchup.
Yeah.
It's just it's
and
one of the
real,
more stressful.
And
games.
for real, like I'm from Chicagoland. Like I mean, my dad went to Iowa. My aunt, my grandpa went to Iowa. But I'm not like from Iowa.
Yeah.
But I do think like for Iowa people, it is a very like important game.
Yeah.
And like why take like
and it's one of those
that
games
away
that the
from
players really get into
Iowans.
it too. Like even the recruits coming from like Florida and California, like it's a game where they catch on to like the meaning of it very quick. Like it is it's a true rivalry game.
Yeah, give it, if Iowa State kind of is like this for like, 3, 4, 5 years, like, like then you're looking at, okay, that's a quality opponent. But like, we're just looking at the history. I'm not trying to like take a stab at Iowa State here. It's just kind of what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking my girlfriend didn't even know the difference between Iowa and Iowa State. And she's like, when she came here from Florida, she was just like, we don't care about those teams.
At least she knew the difference between Iowa and Idaho.
Yeah, that's true. But she was like, I didn't even know those two different like teams like out there. And, like she likes the one sport she follows because Florida State.
Okay, that's a little brutal.
I mean, sometimes
she's still ACC. Like let's dial it back a little bit here.
That is true. But again, like it is kind of like there's levels to these things. Like I'm like, I guess I didn't think about that because I've lived in the Midwest my whole life. Like people probably don't even think about certain teams.
Like growing up as big college football fans, it's a little different too. Like
you're gonna know the teams. I mean, for the whole rivalry thing, like I look at it as Iowa State and Nebraska are the top two for me at least. Like the games that I like.
Yeah, I also just hate that game because having season tickets, it's the most dreadful thing in the world to have to wake up the Friday morning after Thanksgiving, drive 2 hours to Iowa City to sit in 5-degree brutal weather and watch a slugfest that ends 17-14 on a walk-off field goal. And it's never a fun game.
I mean, you're always going to know Nebraska's going to throw it away somehow.
Yeah. You hope, And then the one time they don't, you never hear the end of it. Just like Iowa State.
All right, well.
I think we've covered everything and a little more. And I don't know. All that's left to do is see it on the field. Yeah.
Gronowski, you get over your nerves, my guy. Like,
absolutely. Got
to step up. It's a real deal this week, so.
Yeah. Well, regardless, last episode I only put it on Spotify. I'll backdate it. I'll put everything out everywhere. Check us out: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. What other podcast platforms are out there? I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll look them up. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. It'll all be in the link dump. Probably not right away Friday. I'm gonna try to put these out late Thursday night to early Friday morning. Just for consistency's sake. It probably won't be in there right away because we still got to make some of the accounts and stuff. Hopefully it's in there by like the middle of next week. We'll try to get all that taken care of. Link dump. I'll put. I'm gonna try to get a website set up so we can put the link dump on there. For now, I'll just add the links to the description on the RSS feed. So wherever you're watching this, YouTube description, or just check the RSS feed on your podcasting software.
Cool. Well, that's true. I'm Jeremy.
Yeah, we didn't introduce ourselves at the beginning again. Forgot about that.
Okay.
Yep. I'll put our socials in there too. Check us out. And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Go Hawks, baby.